Welcome to Star Wars Action News, helping Star Wars collectors collect better.
I wanted to give a thanks to Marjorie for some really awesome Christmas gifts.
Oh, I did buy you some Star Wars stuff for Christmas, didn't I? It's hard to buy you Star Wars stuff.
You got me this awesome Star Wars tie. Not a TIE fighter, a tie.
Yeah, it's really cool. They had it at ThinkGeek. It's a ThinkGeek exclusive, and it's a paisley pattern, but it has TIE fighters in it, and it is really, really cool. It's very subtle. You'd have to get really close, and if someone's getting that close to you, then maybe I need to talk to them.
And you also got me a Hot Toys figure. And constant listeners know I love Hot Toys, but I've only bought one Star Wars figure, the Black Hole Shadow Stormtrooper we reviewed almost a full year ago now. It came just at the end of last year, and I think we reviewed it on our first news show of last year.
I think we did, you're right.
So we're going to take a look at it, but I'd feel bad reviewing any Hot Toy without involving Andrew, our Hot Toys addict and video editor, so he's joining us now. Hello, Andrew.
Hey, everybody. Glad to see that you're still tiptoeing down that Hot Toys line. I like it.
Well, had a breadcrumb laid out for me by Marjorie.
Yeah, I don't know what I've done. This went poorly for me before. I don't know what I was thinking.
You were thinking about a great gift?
Yeah. And big thanks to Andrew for being my panicked help in the middle of the day as I'm emailing him back and forth. Should I get this one? Should I get this one? What do you think of this one? Is this one a good gift?
See, you promised me you were not going to throw me under the bus.
Well,
you were not going to blame this on me.
I'm not blaming it. I'm offering you thanks for helping me.
Well, let me ask then, because this was the Star Wars Celebration Anaheim exclusive, but they only had the display at Anaheim, right? It was like a pre-order at the con?
Yeah, it actually went up for pre-order the day before the con, which is what I did because I was thinking, oh, it's an exclusive. I want to make sure that I get this right away, only to find out that starting the very next day, if you pre-ordered it at the con, you got a discount. And no matter how much I tried to convince them to give me the discount because I'd ordered it the day before, they wouldn't give it to me.
Wow, That's really crappy.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed about that. I mean, it was only like a 5% discount or something. It wasn't a whole lot, but
yeah, but still,
5% of a Hot Toy is, that's a couple sodas from the soda machine.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, yeah, it would be $10.
Yeah, I'd take it.
That would have been a soda at the convention.
How true.
One.
Yeah, 2 sips of beer.
But let me delve into this, because my entry into this story came Christmas morning when I unwrapped a box and went, very cool. But Marjorie, how'd you decide to get me a Hot Toy, and how'd you decide with Andrew to get me this Hot Toy?
Well, so this is kind of like a treat for you, because you literally would not buy this for yourself, right?
True.
You still wouldn't have bought this.
Correct.
And you'd been drooling over the Captain Phasma, and I was really torn, and if I should get you a pre-order so you could have Captain Phasma.
We now have what's called the Phasma rule. Always see the movie before ordering.
Yeah, because I was on the fence, and I wanted to give you something in hand, and Andrew said, well, a Stormtrooper's really great. But they're sold out, and I'm kind of leery of buying secondhand Hot Toys because of some issues. You never know what you're going to get. And then he pointed out...
Ironically enough.
Yes. Well, you remember even just buying a Hot Toys from a website, I had trouble. They're like, yep, too bad, so sad.
You're right. That's 2 out of 2 Hot Toys you bought me that broke, but we'll get into the damage later.
Oh, no, I'm 2 for 3, because I bought you a Hot Toy.
You're right.
Mech Test Tony.
Oh, yeah, but he broke and we had to return him.
Oh, so we're 3 for 3, because Superman was broken.
Well, the first couple Hot Toys that I got were, screwed up. So, I guess it's not just me.
So we're 3 for 3 on damaged Hot Toys.
Yes, because the very first Hot Toy I bought you, which was the Mech Test Tony Stark, had a broken part.
Yep, electronics didn't work.
Then I bought you a Superman Hot Toys.
With a dented forehead.
Yeah, it's a Christopher Reeve Superman, so don't worry about that. And then I bought you this one, so I'm not buying any more Hot Toys.
No. All right, so you wanted to get me something in hand. How'd you end up at the Spacetrooper?
It was between that and Captain Phasma, but then I was really worried, 1, about the chrome chipping off of Phasma, and 2, that she was going to be the Boba Fett of the movie.
You were right.
I was
Which
right.
she ended up being, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, So Andrew had a really great idea, Stormtrooper, and then ended up with the Celebration exclusive because it was still in stock and readily available.
Which is unusual. Not impossible for exclusives, but very unusual for Hot Toy exclusives to hang around.
Yes.
I think part of that, they learned their lesson from the Black Hole Stormtrooper, because that sold out in like under 3 hours. So they're probably like, well, let's up the production count for these exclusives so that we can, cash in on it. But then they also didn't have, if you were to go to their website and you were to go to the Hot Toys tab and go to Star Wars, this figure would not show up. It would only show up if you did a search for it.
Weird.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, I really came close to buying this one. Andrew, you and I were standing next to each other, and I was looking at this one, and I kept telling myself, it's an exclusive. It's an exclusive. If I'm going to get one, I should get the exclusive.
Yeah, it's a dangerous term. It's a dangerous term. It's good marketing, but dangerous.
And they know it. That's why they use it.
Yep.
Well, let's take a look at this figure then. It's kind of fitting. I feel like viewers and listeners should go back to when Andrew joined us to review the Black Hole Stormtrooper, the very first Hot Toy, not counting that Bespin Luke. Because here we have a whole lot of part reuse. We said when we reviewed the Black Hole Stormtrooper, oh, these are all Stormtrooper parts in black. And here they are in white. We've got the exact same body. We've got the exact same body stocking underneath. The armor is just slid up on the arms for the forearm armor. I'm not sure. I think the top pieces are glued on. I'm not sure how the legs are. The legs are just slide on too.
Yeah, and I don't think the top ones are glued on so much as there's like an elastic band that goes around part of them.
Yeah, you're right. Now you have all the Stormtroopers they've released, right? You got the Stormtrooper 2-pack. You got the Sand Trooper.
I have the Sand Trooper.
All right, so looking at this one, I'm guessing that everything from the waist down is the same. Do all the Stormtroopers kind of had the bunched up look on the shoes?
Yeah, everything is identical. And the only thing that's different are the things that have been added. So like the backpack and the hose that goes from the backpack to the helmet.
And to clarify, these are in the movie. Marjorie, you had a conversation with somebody.
Someone at work when I got it, because I had to receive it at work because of the shipper box. One, you'd think it was yours because it says Hot Toys on it. And then there'd be that awkward, I didn't order a Space Trooper. Why'd they send me a Space Trooper conversation? So I had it shipped to me at work. And a girl at work whose husband likes Star Wars, now nowhere near what we do or anything. I mean, I think he watched him when he was a kid. She called her husband and said, oh my God, Marjorie's got this really cool toy. It's a Space Trooper. And he goes, there's no Space Troopers in Star Wars. And I'm like, oh, hold up here, sister.
Obviously, he didn't collect the Power of the Force 2 line, where they also had a Space Trooper that was nothing like this.
No.
Yeah.
That was like almost a scuba suit.
Yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely nothing like this. This is a Stormtrooper with a scuba pack.
He's got a backpack.
Now, looking at this backpack very closely, I think what they did is, you know how on the back of the Stormtroopers, you've got the circle and the little rectangle molded into their back?
Mm-hmm.
It looks, because I can see the top into between the backpack and the back, that they've made protrusions on this Space Trooper backpack that are circular and rectangular and glued it in.
And I think that's awesome because now we know why those little bits are on the back. It's, well, if you think about it in universe, that's how the backpack attaches to their armor. I mean, it makes perfect sense. So are Hot Toys canon? That's the real question.
Oh, that is a good question.
I agree. I hadn't really thought of it like that, but that's a great concept as to explain why they have that on their back. And I bet the Sand Troopers have their backpacks glued on in exactly the same way.
Yep, I'll let you know as soon as I open mine.
What would have been really awesome is if this was like an extra armor up piece, if they found a way to like magnetically hold it there or something, though. So you could have a Stormtrooper like armor up into this.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's really what I was hoping this would be, so it would have some versatility in the collection, so I could have it, if I just wanted to have another Stormtrooper, I could have it, or I could display it as a Space Trooper. But unfortunately, it's glued on.
Now, when I first got this, my first thought was, how do I tell Marjorie to return it? because I'm looking at the backpack. It's got 2 little jets glued on at the bottom. But then I look in, and down the side where the hose doesn't come out is just this big empty tube. And I'm like, wow, I've never seen Hot Toys cheap out like that before.
Budget cuts are hitting even the Empire.
But it turns out they have some really cool details. I had to look at the other accessories. There's a little tube that has some kind of, I don't know what you would call this. It looks like something that would hold some nuclear particle in a movie like Face Off.
Yes.
It's like something that you would see in a movie where they have to push it down into some like cryogenics tube and then lock into place with a psst.
How did you get in my head with that? Because that sound is what I was thinking of as you guys were saying this, and then you did it.
See, for some reason, I see something suspended in a laser between the 2 tips. I don't know. And then there were 2 holes on the back, and I'm, again, like, what's going on? But these are some really unnecessary details. If they had just shipped us this backpack in one piece, I never would have said anything. But there's like little air canisters in there, so we can pretend they're refilling their tanks.
Do you play with these Hot Toys and pretend that?
All the time. Pachoo, pachoo, pachoo. Psst.
No, sir, you didn't see me playing with my Hot Toys again. And so once it's all put together, it actually looks very nice, and it's kind of cool to have those little details, even though I'm not sure how often I'll pull them out, other than when I say to people, and look, it has an air tank.
Yeah, and have you actually put that cylinder into the backpack yet?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any trouble getting it in? Because I, for the life of me, could not figure out how to easily get it in. I had to really kind of go in it at certain angles and to get it to go in. So I don't think I'm ever going to fully pull it back out. I can get it about halfway and then it kind of friction fits, and I'm not going to pull it any harder.
Once I get the tip in, the whole thing seems to slide in pretty easy. But now you have me nervous because I do feel a little friction as I pull it in and out, and I am worried that it may eventually scratch the very soft plastic.
So why don't you just leave it?
Okay. Now from that, on the right side of the Spacetrooper backpack comes out a tube that wraps around to the left side of his neck and underneath. And this is a piece that is glued onto the helmet, and I'll tell you, again, with fragility, I'm nervous of that little glue piece coming off.
Yeah, especially where it's located, being right under his chin. Any sort of pressure that you would put by, moving his helmet around. If it bumps up against his shoulder, or pulls the tube if you twist it too hard in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I just don't think he can look to his right.
He doesn't need to. It's totally fine.
Looking left is fine because that adds slack, but if you start to look a little bit right, about 45 degrees is about as tight as I'm going to go on that. We were talking before we started recording that having fear of your Hot Toys is a healthy thing because they are fragile. They are delicate. You know how you treat China? You can be harder on China than you can your Hot Toys.
That is true.
Which is not to say these are bad toys. Obviously, Andrew and I wouldn't buy so many of them if we didn't absolutely love them and fear them. It's kind of an abusive relationship. Now, I'm curious, given where they glued the backpack, does the regular Stormtrooper have a little notch underneath the chin there for accessories to be glued?
No, there is nothing there to attach any sort of accessory. Other than that, the helmet is exactly the same. So it's just like they put a dab of glue on the end of the hose and pushed it up against his chin.
Then they glued it perfectly because I can't see a seam or any glue or anything. It looks like it was made to go there. Maybe they resculpted that piece of the helmet for this piece.
Yeah, or drilled a little hole in it or something and just inserted that little knobby-doo in there. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing on the regular Stormtrooper for that.
Well, cool. I like there to be some difference versus a couple glued on accessories. And the result is, I see what you mean about wanting to bolster your ranks of Stormtroopers if you could take this off, but it's a great looking Stormtrooper. The paint on it, I don't have the regular Stormtrooper. The lines they did in the cheeks are incredible. Just the little black lines. I've seen full scale prop replicas that don't have line work this clean.
Yeah, like the lines that are on the little, like the gray piece on his cheekbones,
Mm-hmm.
those are so fine and straight and perfect.
And yeah, all the paintwork on the side of the head, the fine lines on the back of the helmet, just really, really well done. I love, love, love the little grates at the bottom of the helmet, just the way they really look like microphone mesh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very nice. Yeah, no, I'm not saying this isn't incredibly detailed and it's wonderful. I'm just terrified of them.
Yeah, and I like the paint on the backpack too. Just, from a distance, it looks like it's just white. It's the same color as his armor, but they've got it's almost like grime painted in the ridges there, in like the little jet packs underneath. So it makes it look like it's been in use and has some buildup of grime and silt.
Because there's a lot of grime and silt in space.
Obviously, it's coming from the fuel.
Space is dirty as well as cold.
You go to the exhaust in your car, it's going to be dirty.
Well, I hope the Empire was at least green, okay?
As they destroy entire planets.
Yeah, totally.
See, I wasn't sure if I felt that was a positive or a negative that the paint on the backpack didn't match the paint of the rest of the armor. The backpack feels like a different plastic, and I wondered if it was a case of, like with Hasbro, they molded the main armor in white, but they painted this backpack in white, and so it didn't quite match up.
So you're saying that you don't think the backpack's actually white?
It's not the same white.
Oh.
But it could be the material. That's what happens. If you recall, we compared some whites on figures, and the body parts just even vary, if you recall, Arnie.
I think tube is different and the jets are different, but that could just be because of the thickness of it. It's not, the thin plating that's on the armor. There's some depth to it and some thickness to it. So I think that just might be a trick of the eye, or a trick of the finger if you're feeling it, to tell the difference. But that little plate that goes over his back, the one that is glued to him, that to me seems like it might be a different material, because it is more, it's similar to the thickness of his regular armor. But yeah, I can't tell the difference between the backpack and his armor. Of course, now that you've got it in my brain, I'm just going to stare at it all day long.
Well, all right, here's what I can tell you. I've placed this color of white. It's whiteout. You know how whiteout has that slight tinge of yellow?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It is whiteout white. And looking at my little broken nubby thing, one of my little jets at the bottom arrived broken. The white it is cast in is a kind of a milky white plastic. This is a painted piece. Now, I also received broken shin armor. The armor on the rest of the body is unpainted. This is just how it was molded. If they painted it, it was to add the black accents or the little dots around the belt. So that's why it doesn't match, is because they weren't able to get a paint to exactly match this back. That said, the weathering you like on this, Andrew, is obviously intentional, because no part of this is kind of a grimy gray like they put in the little ridges here.
I think that the little canister on the back, though, that we were touching, Andrew, that you can't feel the difference between, feels more metallic and solid than the actual armor. I'm not saying it's metal. I just think it has that weird cold feeling, and it feels a little bit more solid.
And it is definitely a thicker plastic. I would say that's probably almost a quarter of an inch, maybe 3/16 of an inch thick, whereas the rest of the armor on him is probably like 1/16 of an inch thick, if that.
The one thing that I will ding the backpack on is there's a little arm that kind of sticks out of the back of it and attaches to the white tube that goes across. Do you see what I'm talking about there?
Oh, yes. How it sticks out and connects to the hose.
Yeah. So I've got like a little glob of glue kind of built up around that, if you have it on a shelf and you're looking at it across the room, you're not going to see it. But if you're like me and you're going over it with a fine-tooth comb, it's pretty obvious that it's there. But that's the only really thing that stands out to me as being an issue.
Mine does not have that.
Although I'd be afraid that would snap like a twig.
Well, this is why we don't turn his head.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of glue on the piece underneath that, just the plate where that little white peg is attached.
Mm-hmm.
The plate at the bottom seems to have a slight glue mark on mine. But, I learned many, many years ago, if you search for perfection in your action figure, your hot toy, your statue, it's going to be a lot of returns. You're going to burn bridges with customer service. Especially when things are painted by hand like these are, you're going to get variance. You're going to get what might be viewed as an imperfection.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, like I said, it's a tiny thing. That's a nittiest of picks right there.
Yeah, and it all comes down to that, is how much can you live with? I ended up deciding to live with a 1/16 of an inch nick on a statue that Sideshow sent me because it was the last one they had,
Mm-hmm.
It comes down to that. And it was on the back. You pick and choose your battles. In this case, the fact that I got a snapped off knee plate and a snapped off back jet, that's a battle I'll choose to fight.
Yes, that is a problem.
Yeah, you apparently caught my curse. I haven't had any issues with Hot Toys since those first 2 shipments. You can have a turn at it. It's fine.
Well, it's all the ones Marjorie buys. It's like they see Marjorie's name and are like, oh, she won't care if we smash it. Now, let's look at his accessories.
Yes, please.
He comes with the standard base plate with the grill and the little front. I was a little disappointed. This is the same color as all the others, right?
No, this one's actually a different color.
Okay, this one's a blue. The others aren't blue?
The Shadow Trooper is, of course, all black. The Stormtrooper 2-packs are mostly red with some black, like, splatter paint on them. So this one is totally different. And the one for Han and Chewie is like a metallic gray on the grate.
And then he comes with the little canister, thermal detonator, what have you, that goes on the back of the belt.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Just like the Black Hole Stormtrooper did, and I'm sure all your other Stormtroopers.
Yeah, now I will say to be careful when you're putting that on.
Not to scratch the plastic?
Yeah, because it's got the clips are metal, so just be really careful.
Been there with the Sideshow Premium format, been there with the Black Hole. I'm getting used to that.
Yep.
I think we had this conversation with the Black Hole.
I think we probably did, yeah.
Then we've got the standard blaster with that flip out stock for the back. Get the kind of more, I'm not a gun guy, I just shoot them. What would you describe this as?
It's a stabilizer?
A stock?
I think the stock, it's like a shoulder mount or brace.
Yeah, you put it up against your shoulder to give you, better stability when you're aiming.
It acts like a rifle when you have that out.
Right.
And I it's the same as the Black Hole Stormtroopers, but man, I never get tired of playing with its little transformer engineering.
Yeah, and I love that the end of the gun, the back of the gun, has this little ring on it, a little metal ring that is actually loose in there and can move. I mean, you're not going to care which direction it is, but just the fact that that is a detail that they put into it is really awesome.
I saw it and it was flush and I just thought it was molded. I didn't realize that's an actual ring.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't notice it on any of my other Stormtroopers either. I just was too enraptured by the stock. But yeah, that's one of those little things that just surprises you.
Then he comes with a big Mamma Jamma gun. Is this unique to him?
Whoa, that is big. I didn't even know it came with that when I bought it. Not that I wouldn't have bought it, but...
Yeah, this is the first figure that has it, but I think it's the same gun that comes with the Sand Trooper, although the Sand Trooper has a different paint to it to make it look dirty and used and like it's on a desert planet.
This is a nice gun. I like the little redness in the clear plastic tips that I don't know if it's supposed to be a laser scope. I think so.
I don't know.
I like that it has two scopes. I don't know how that would work with a real gun. Does it become binoculars?
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense, but it looks awesome. And really, that's all that matters.
You can't use it in real life, but what the hell? It's cool looking.
Well, maybe it's so that for those who are ambidextrous, right? You can look through the left side if you're, shooting it with the right hand. You can look through the right side if you're shooting at it with the left hand.
It's just a big, elephant hunting gun, though. If you wanted to go bantha hunting, this is the one you should take. Now, it has a little bit at the back of the stock that looks like it's where something would attach. It's got, 2 holes sticking down. Do you have that?
Yep.
Does anything attach there?
Nope.
Maybe it will on the Sand Trooper. You'll have to open it, review it, and tell us.
Now you got a lot to open.
Oh, I'll bet you it does on the Sand Trooper. I think the Sand Trooper's got like like a leather strap that you can use to put it over his shoulder. I'll bet you that's where it attaches.
Uh-huh. So what we have here is the ultimate kit bash with a new backpack is what we're deciding.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And we kind of knew that this was going to happen, right? Like, they're just going to do repaints upon repaints, and if they ever get into the Clone Wars, I'm done for.
Only if they do the Phase 2. Phase 1 was pretty simple. You can get away with, what, 4 colors and a white?
Get away with 5. Just get away with 5, yeah. Yeah, you can get away with just, 1 extra mortgage on your house. It's fine.
I think at that point when you cross the line, right?
There's a line?
I think if there's a line, I've probably crossed it already.
And then you get 6 hands, the various types of hands.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they're like rubbery. So you kind of have to like stretch to get them to go, against the trigger in their guns. Yeah, I do like one of the hands that comes with this, the finger, the pointing one, because that's what the Space Trooper's doing in that scene in A New Hope is he's, pointing to the Millennium Falcon as it comes in. So it's really cool that they have that detail so you can reenact that scene once you get the 6-scale Millennium Falcon hanging from your ceiling.
No.
I don't think I have a room that a 6-scale Falcon would fit in. All right, I do. It would be 19 feet long.
Well, I'm glad you did the math. That's, yeah.
So I could fit it in a room. I just now don't want to.
Oh, you want to. You want to.
Kinda.
Oh, dear.
So you're telling me not all the figures come with the nose picker then?
Nope. Most of them come with the 2 relaxed hands, 2 gun hands, and 2 fists.
Ah, so he has 8 hands total. Which one is he missing to match up with the finger pointer? I guess he's missing the more relaxed hand. He kind of comes with relaxed hands.
Yeah, the spread fingers.
Yeah. It's like he's counting to 6 with those 2 hands.
Maybe he's like, hi, he's pointing at you and waving. Is that it? Hi, hey, you. Hey, no, you, not you. No, you.
Now we just need one with doing the pistol fingers so he can do the Buddy Christ pose.
Well, all in all, this is a gorgeous figure. I'm a little bit bummed about the 2 broken parts, and I'm looking to Sideshow to make it right. Most of the time they have. Sometimes, in the case of, my gantry, I had to take it to the mattresses. But 3 of them broke.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with any of the issues that I've had with my Hot Toys. I just let them know that I got a broken part, and they ask for pictures to prove it, and I prove it, and then they send me a new one. Of course, this is a little bit different because part of yours is the backpack, which is glued on, so that might be a little bit harder to come by.
Yeah, if it's the backpack and it's glued on, they'll have to replace the whole body. Which, I mean, they've done that where you keep all the accessories. When I had a statue break, they just kept sending me new statues, but keep the box and the base.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Remember we had to smash bodies before, too.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
I was going to say, that sounds like it would be very, very therapeutic.
It's... A lot of times they're like, send us pictures of it smashed. And I've had to do it to Hot Toys before. I had to do it to a Hot Toy War Machine. And I took it out and I stomped it and I put it in a garbage bag. I just kept smashing it into the cement and then I jumped up and down on it.
Okay, what you need to do is you need to videotape this. And then you need to, reenact it like the scene from Office Space when they go after that... copier.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you need to do.
There was a video that was circling online where it pretended to be a girlfriend getting mad at her boyfriend and yelling at him and picking up one of the statues and smashing it. And then the whole story came out that it was a Sideshow return.
Nice.
They went really theatrical. I wonder if they sent that. You have to send proof to Sideshow that you smashed it.
Yeah, they do require proof, and I understand that, though, too, because it'd be a great scam, wouldn't it?
This is a great gift, Marjorie. Thank you so much. You've set me down a bad path, though, because now I really kind of want the Stormtroopers. They're sold out, and there's a secondary price on eBay, and I'm just going to have to go without them. But, man, the detail on the Stormtrooper is incredibly, literally awesome. I am awed.
Yeah, it's a great piece, and it's falling just in line with the rest of the stuff that they've done for Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't want to think people with my talk of fear of it mean I don't like it or that it's problems. We picked a few nits, but man, it's just amazing that they're already hitting this depth of character. I mean, admittedly, it's easy resculpts and repaints, but has Hasbro even made this?
I don't think so. Not that I can recall. And it's nice that they're doing these for the exclusives, right? Because just for the general populace, people aren't going to get excited about it. So it's nice that they're, for the fans, they're catering to those, those fans that know the nerdy stuff, that there actually is a Space Trooper in A New Hope.
I looked it up. They did make a Space Trooper in the Legacy Collection that looked just like this, had the same 2 guns even, the big elephant gun. Very well detailed, too. I'd forgotten about it because it was around the time Clone Wars came out, so we're looking 2008, 2009.
The only way they can really do the ancillary characters of Space Trooper and Black Hole Trooper, which, are really cool and, fans love, especially the Black Hole Stormtrooper, is to make them the exclusives at these conventions.
Yeah.
So Arnie, the Stormtroopers are sold out. My question is, are you going to go after that Milk exclusive Copper Stormtrooper?
Is that even up for order yet?
You can get it on eBay. It never hit Sideshow. I don't think Sideshow got it.
Let me ask, are you getting it?
No. I've got a price in mind. If it gets down to that price, I will strongly consider. But I haven't seen it get close to that price.
I won't ask your price, lest your wife hear this. I will ask what it's selling for that is above your price.
The lowest I've seen it for is $400.
Oh, it's not near as bad as I thought it would be, though.
No, it's not the most I've ever paid for one secondhand.
See, now you're just trying to convince me that I should jump on it.
Well, here's the rule that you have to live by, Andrew. And, you're going to form your own rules. And Arnie's learned the hard way on a few different things where if you hesitate on an exclusive, it's just going to go up in the future.
You're not helping.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Star Wars Action News with more collecting news and reviews at swactionnews.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. May the pegs be stocked and the Force be with you.